Hi everyone, I am Amanda Belke and I am a women's life coach. So I help millennial women who are overwhelmed with people pleasing remove those stress aches so that they can live an intentional life filled with more confidence and joy. And so this is another Thrive Thursday. And for most of these, typically what I'll do is I take different questions that I have women that will write into me, whether it's through Facebook or through email, and I'll answer those. But for today, I was thinking about something else that's really been on my mind, and I don't know if you guys have read Shauna Nyquist's book, Present Over Perfect, but highly recommend getting this. It's so good so far. So what I have to say is she talks about in the book, she talks about Pigpen. And do you guys remember Pigpen from Charlie Brown or Peanuts? And he was a little guy who, whenever he showed up to something, he had this big dusty cloud around him that he brought with him to every situation. It was this big chaos and mess and dirt and everything. And that was always with him, whether he was hanging out with Charlie Brown or if he was hanging out with Linus or anything like that. And it just got me thinking about, how we get in certain situations. So, there are times where we're constantly go, go, go. And I think about, even personally in my life. So there are so many things that keep me busy and so many things that I have going on all the time. And they're all really good things, right? Or at least that's what I think. And, but at the same time, these really good things are making me bring this kind of mess to every situation, right? And maybe you feel that way too. So that mess that Pigpen has, it's kind of like you get to an event or get somewhere and you constantly have like this chaos and the swirl of everything going on around you where you can't fully be present, and you kind of have that barrier between you and the people that you're trying to interact with. And it's kind of that mess that's swirling around and that barrier. And you don't bring your full self and you don't bring your energy to the situation and the energy that you want to bring. Instead, you bring this kind of frantic energy all over the place. And what's the common denominator in these situations? If this is constantly happening in your life in different areas, what's the common denominator? It's you. It's me. And that's something that we can change. But when you think about all these things that you have going on in life, and you think about, I got to do this, or I want to experience that, or I want to be that, or, it's all these really great things, and you want to gobble it all up and experience everything life has to offer. But there is too much of a good thing. If you have too much of something, it's going to make you sick. It doesn't matter if it's a good thing or not. It's still, there can be too much of it. And so just thinking about, what are those things that you have to say no to in order to, take a minute and reflect on what that means to you, so you aren't bringing that kind of frantic energy and that chaos that Pigpen has to every situation. How do you check yourself before you wreck yourself, and how do you be aware of that energy that you're bringing there and being intentional about the time that you're with, and how do you really connect with those people that you're with? Because after all, those things that you do and you say yes, yes, yes to, there's a reason you do it. In most cases, it has some meaning to you. In other cases, it's just because, someone needed something and you want to be the caretaker and you want to be the provider and you want to be the one who's capable of doing all the things. But as soon as we take our identity out of being the capable one and being the one who does all the things and don't place our worth in that, but we place our worth in our identity and who we are and who we are as a person and what we mean to the people in our life and what we give back to the world, that's when you understand the importance of saying no, and that's when you become more comfortable with it. And that's when you don't start putting your identity in things that don't matter. It's hard because we're in a society where so much of what we do is that becomes our identity. It consumes us. It's, what's the first thing someone asks when you meet them? And it's like, oh, what do you do? It's like, my identity isn't what I do, it's who I am as a person. And so just being aware of that and not having to say yes to all the things, but being you and bringing your full self to each event that you want to do or experience you want to have or connection you want to make, and being intentional with that time. That is what's going to make a world of a difference. So, my challenge for you this week is to think about, something that you have going on this weekend. So it's something that you said yes to. So either think about how you're going to be present in that moment, and you aren't going to think about the chaos you have swirling around you. You aren't going to think of the mess that you have going on at home or at your life, but you're going to be present and you're going to connect with that person or that event that you're going to. Or if you feel like you can't fully connect and be present and be intentional with that time, say no. Take back that time for yourself. Fill your own cup up with that time so that you can be present and intentional with the next thing that comes up. So that is what I have for you for a challenge this weekend. So I'm taking that challenge on too. But that is what I got out of Present Over Perfect with Shauna Nyquist. Great book. Definitely check it out. And I'd love to hear in the comments, what you're going to say no to this weekend or what you're choosing to be present at, because we have that choice every day in how we show up and what energy we bring to situations in the world and the people around us. So this was another Thrive Thursday, so I'll be back next week with another one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great night.